Hi again. Now we have again a clean slate. And I'm gonna talk a bit more about some more hidden parts of the human mind. And what I want to talk about is desire or craving. So, this is a very, very strange topic that is might even be hard to comprehend if your awareness isn't used to working with this kind of things and used to being aware. The thing is, many people have problems with cravings or problems with desire. They might desire things that are inappropriate in a way. For example, if you're overeating, if you're a kind of a person that overeats, you might have craving in the middle of the night to eat a whole cake or to eat a full package of ice cream or whatever it is for you. I think many people have something like that. And you think this is just your desire, you just want it, so you just do it. And after that, very often comes remorse, and you feel like guilty and ashamed, and yeah, it's not, you don't really feel fulfilled after you do what you crave and you desire, you think you desire. It's actually not really desire, but you think you desire it. And it's the same thing like with this cake or with this ice cream. It's the same thing with something else you might find in any way inappropriate, or maybe even not. It doesn't matter. Let's stay with inappropriate. For example, you find your best friend's husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend attractive. So this has happened to people and will happen to people quite often, and they don't understand why. Why am I attracted? He's not even my type, or she's not even my type, but I'm still attracted to my best friend. This is so wrong. So why do I have this craving to do something, or to think about it at least? So the reason actually is what happens if you would actually do something. The reason why I do it is guilt and shame. It sounds totally insane. Why would I want to feel guilty and ashamed? It doesn't make any sense, or at least like on the surface it wouldn't. But this is actually, I was talking about the pain body last time, which the pain body has the hidden agenda to gather more pain. So, and I think Eckhart Tolle was very near the truth when he said it. Like when I first listened to Power of Now, it really opened my eyes. And I really understood what was going on inside of me for the first time in my life. And I was really liberated by this knowledge. But I think there is a slight difference, because I think it's not the pain saying it is pain, doesn't really quite capture it. Because actually, what it is about is maximizing guilt and shame. So, you think you desire most, you crave the most, what has the most probability to provide you with the most guilt and shame. So this guilt and shame might not even be conscious to you. It probably isn't. But this is like how it works with, for example, most addictions. You know you should stop whatever, smoking, taking drugs, taking alcohol, overeating, doing too much sports, whatever your thing is. Everyone has a thing, whatever it is. Playing computer games, that was mine. Whatever. It is in part that you have the desire or the craving to do that to accumulate guilt and shame. I know it sounds totally crazy. And it's also like very interesting because at the same time, more often than not, there's also the component of fear that is kind of, let's say, it is working with those two. Because the stronger the guilt and shame, the stronger is the fear to do the thing that you desire or crave. And at the same time, the stronger the guilt and shame, the stronger the fear, also the stronger the desire to do it. And it's just a bit of the balancing between the fear and the desire, if you really do it or not. Because you might crave the cake but not actually eat it because you know it's not good for you. You know you're going to be puking after that and feeling really bad and sick to your stomach and, get sugar problems or whatever, and pimples and, it's really bad for you. So you might be able to stop yourself because you have the fear of the negative consequences that are going to come with it. But that's not a guarantee. That's not a guarantee at all. And why am I telling you this? This sounds horrible, doesn't it? Like, a part of you that wants to accumulate guilt and shame. I'm telling you this because it is very useful to know that what you want to accumulate is not what you desire or crave. That is not your goal. Your goal is not to sleep with the boyfriend or girlfriend of your best friend. Your goal is not really to eat this cake. Your goal is not really to smoke or to take drugs. It might be in part because you think you're going to have fun, but actually the main part of the reason why you want to do it is because of guilt and shame. Afterwards, at some level, you're gonna feel guilty and ashamed because you did it. And when you know that, when you become aware of this mechanism that is working inside of you, it's like, it's like a circle, a vicious circle that gets continued over and over and over again. When you become aware of it, you can break it. You can decide, I will not accumulate guilt and shame anymore. Or you might at first, which is what maybe people do, just, make viewpoint in a way, or make you transfer it from one object to another, because the object is totally unimportant actually in real truth. It's not important what you desire or crave. What the important part for this part of you is the guilt and shame that comes with it. So you can actually turn it around, and instead of overeating, you can become overly enthusiastic with sports, which might be better for your body. I don't know. And this might, um, at least mitigate the damage that's being done to yourself. But that would be, of course, only the first moment. It's not something that brings you liberation. The only thing that brings you liberation is to become aware, and really, also a part of it is what you could do if you want to become more aware is when you're doing whatever you are desiring or craving for, and when you finally get it, whatever it is for you, I want to invite you to become very present in this moment, very alert, very aware, and just notice what you're feeling at this moment. Notice your thoughts. Let's imagine it's the cake. You take the first bite and maybe it feels like heaven. This first bite might. But then comes the second bite, the third bite, the fourth bite, and then you ate a part of it, and then you shouldn't eat more, but whatever. I don't know. I don't want to tell you what's going on in your mind because I don't know. I know from my experience what happens with me sometimes when I crave something to eat and then I start eating it and I'm just like, wow, why did I crave it? Anyway, just try to be very aware, and then you will notice these negative emotions popping up, and there is some form of satisfaction. It seems like satisfaction that comes from it. It seems like a hole is being fed, but actually it's a bottomless pit in a sense, because the pain body is always hungry. It can always get more pain or more shame and guilt. So yeah, it just depends on what kind of a person it is you are and what kind of a pain body it is, on how active it is. With some people it's active all the time. Some people not only have a very strong pain body, but they actually are not even able to distinguish between themselves and the safe pain body. It's hard to distinguish. You can learn to distinguish, but for some people it's particularly heavy, and for them it's particularly hard to notice that they are actually being run by the pain body most of the time. But with most people, the pain body is dormant, and then it awakens when it sees its trigger. So if you have, depending of what kind of thing triggers you, if your trigger is food, then, it's going to be triggered with food. Or it's going to be triggered when you see, if you're overweight or you think you're overweight, it's just your opinion. You're going to be triggered by skinny people or advertisements or whatever your trigger is. And it's also the same. We can't really talk about desire and craving, but it's very similar. The part of the pain body that really actually wants pain. So the same thing would be to want to desire to have a fight, to desire to think, many people think they need aggressiveness, they need to be angry, that they have a right to be angry and they want to be angry and whatever. So, and the real reason they want to be angry, they desire to be angry, is because of the guilt and shame they will feel a few days later, most probably very unconscious, of the way they handled situations when they were angry. Because usually when you're angry, you do things you regret. And these are the things that will haunt you on some level, and that's why you do it. So yeah, it's totally other way around than what you think. You think you have a right to be angry. You think you really want the cake. You think you really want the boyfriend or girlfriend of your best friend. But that's not true. What you actually want, or not you, but a part of you actually wants, is for you to really feel bad, for you to really feel guilty and ashamed, for you to feel fear because of the possible repercussions that will come with that. Like also, especially after you've been angry, you're afraid, usually, if you're able to admit it to yourself, you're afraid there's going to be some retribution. Someone is going to get back at you. Someone's going to be mad at you. So yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, I know this is some heavy stuff, partly for some people, but on the other hand, is when you, like, also, again, you don't have to believe me, just try and be aware for yourself, try to notice your own behavior, and see if maybe there is some truth in it. And the more you become aware, the more you will notice you have a choice. And the more choice you have, and the more you notice the choice you have, it will get easier and easier to become free of this. And you can become completely free of this. So you will be able to choose to do things that you truly desire. Not because they bring you fear, guilt, and shame, but because they actually bring you joy, bring you fun, bring you, without the downside. Because you also could say, like, yeah, drugs bring me joy and fun. Yeah, maybe for a few hours, but, do they really? Like, do you really feel fun a few days later? I don't think so. You really feel bad usually. And that is the thing. So the real joy, the real fun, the real deep happiness doesn't have an opposite. It doesn't have a downside. It doesn't have a negative. And this is something I would hope for you, that you would get there, to this joy without needing a reason to feel joyful. Joy and happiness and peace just for the sake of it, without needing anything to desire. So yeah, I'm going to continue on this in my next video. It's going to be about something that explains how humans work and why communication between people is, or understanding between people is sometimes near impossible. So this is, for me, when I learned these things, it actually opened my eyes in such a way that I, for the first time, understood why some things just aren't working and cannot work, because there is a reason to it. So stay tuned for the next video if you like, and bye bye.